All right, so I'm playing a little bit of catch up. Last night was WrestleMania, so I watched WrestleMania, and then when that was over, I watched the Warriors versus Rockets game. So I didn't watch The Last of Us last night, but I have now watched episode 2 of season 2, and man, we've got thoughts. Number one, the big thing that I liked is the change from the video game. In the game, the the people that Abby runs into is Joel and Tommy. One of the major arguments for gamers who were playing through that scene is the fact that around strangers, Tommy called Joel by his first name instead of using the designations that the scouts use for Jackson. Having that person who calls Joel be, um, damn, I want to call it Isabella Marced because that's who the fuck should, Dinah, Jesus Christ. Having the person who calls Joel to be Dinah feels a lot better. Tommy wouldn't have made that mistake, but having her be the one who calls Joel and alerts Abby to who he is, but then also having her be there, having Joel low key kind of sacrifice himself in order to save her because he was more worried about keeping her alive than he was about keeping himself alive. Especially once he realized that this was all a setup to basically get him there, that feels a lot better. It actually puts a little bit more weight behind Dinah's reasoning of following Ellie, other than it just being revenge. There's a level of guilt associated with it now, where she feels as though she's responsible for Joel getting killed, because if she didn't basically call Joel by his first name in that situation, that would have never happened. That felt great. The Battle of Jackson, fan-fucking-tastic. Absolutely love it. Watching a post-apocalyptic, well, it's not really post-apocalyptic. Yeah, it is kind of the apocalypse. But watching the community uh react the way it did felt really good. Now, there's a bunch of things that in regards to that I really, really enjoy. I love the system that they use to defend. I love how the way in which they did defense made sense, where they had people on the wall, they used oil and gas and fire to slow them down. Then they had secondary defenders on the rooftops, and then they, in the event that they needed the extra oomph, the dogs were basically the trump card in the situation to get it under control, and also the trump card for sniffing out any infected that may be laying in wait or hiding. That's fucking great. Absolutely love it. I love that they gave Tommy his moment to shine, where he has the flamethrower. Them two dudes who ran off, I want you to know, count your motherfucking days. Because I said it in the main review, and if you want to watch the entire live reaction, it's on my Patreon. If you hop over to the Patreon and you can watch the entire episode with me over there. All you have to do is join. There's no fee behind it. Those two guys who ran off, count your fucking days, because I'm gonna fuck you up the moment that I see you again after surviving that, because that's some bitch made shit. Everybody's fighting to survive, and your dusty ass has decided to run. I love that entire sequence. I love the sequence with the bloater. I love that the flamethrower took a minute to kill him, because I was really worried the flamethrower was going to be like super OD. Didn't turn out to be OD at all. It fit perfectly and operated perfectly the way in which I wanted it to essentially fucking operate. Um, Going back to interesting choices that I think were also made was having it be Ellie and Jesse at the weed spot. That they completely took out the scene with Ellie and Dinah and then Jesse finding them both together, and they substituted that instead for having Jesse basically give her shit at her place and say that, I fucking know, so I'm not really shocked at the fact that you two motherfuckers are together. That was a weird choice. I could probably understand why that choice was made, but at the exact same time, I think that that was also low key a super weird choice, because that scene also sets up Dinah for realizing how many scars Ellie honestly has, and being the first nugget of Ellie about to tell her that she's immune. Taking it out, interesting choice, but I guess we can do the immune thing later on when they're in the tunnels and she has to take the thing off of the spores. Or should I say when they reintroduce the spores, since they announced that that was going to be a factor coming back later on inside the season. The ending, one for one shot from the video game. The chain link fence that falls down, the claustrophobic field you're trying to crawl through it to get away. Joel saving Abby, them going up to the cabin. The beating, in my opinion, is way more gruesome in the show than it is in the game. Because in the game, if I remember correctly, I don't remember fists being involved. She beat the fuck out of Joel. Like she was working that man. So I would say that she's at least been beating the fuck out of Joel for maybe 30 to 45 minutes, or maybe like 30 minutes straight, before Ellie finally shows up. The way in which he dies is also super different. In this one, she literally like stabs him in the neck with the broken shard of the golf club. In the video game, she brings that shit down on his head. I made a joke in the live watch that this was basically this was the Joel and the golf club is almost now as synonymous as Jason Todd and the crowbar in regards to the Joker, but way more brutal, in my opinion, in the show. The game kind of cuts out just how long the beating was going on for. Like you get a hint that it was lasting for a while, but you know that you can do some damage with a steel fucking golf club to the human cranium. So you're able to take it. The issue of time isn't something that you constrain yourself with. You're just like, oh, she's been at this for a minute. Look at the state my boy is in. In this one, no, she took out her frustration on that man. Golf club, fists, kicks. She was beating the hell out of Joel. Here's the issue, and I think it's the overall issue that I have with this episode. I think there should have been two episodes. I think the Battle of Jackson should have been one episode, and then the situation in the mountains with Joel and Abby should have been another episode, because you have an issue where you basically rush through two different plots at the same time when both of these plots were strong enough individually to stand on their own. An entire somebody called this episode The Last of Us's version of Hardhome. I agree. The thing about Hardhome is Hardhome was an entire episode. The setup for Hardhome, the battle for Hardhome, and the aftermath of Hardhome all exist within that one episode. Then in episode two, if you want to explore that, you can go off and you can tell that story of them dealing with the last bits of infected, the little stragglers that are essentially left, them cleaning up the area. Then they run into Abby in the last little bit of a horde. They survive the area up there. They make it up to the cabin, and that's what that situation happens. Then you're able to flesh in all those other story points that you basically cut out. I don't know why a lot of these, well, I know exactly why. The cost of episodes and the cost of a series in general has ballooned in the last few years. Just maybe 10 years ago with The Flash, you'd have a 24 episode season. Now we're running into a situation where unless you're on syndicated television where you can run commercials every 10 minutes to recoup and make some money from that. If you're on a streaming service, you're only going to get 8 or 9 episodes, and that sometimes is at the detriment of the story. But I fucking love this episode. I thought it was great. Let me know what you guys think about it. Comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.